Hey guys, it's Loves to Loom here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create this gorgeous Esprit bracelet created by Late Loomer on Instagram. I'll definitely have her link below if you want to check her out on there. And she does actually have a new page on Instagram strictly with all of her flipgrams. So I don't know the name off the top of my head, but I will have that below as well so you can find more of her tutorials on Instagram. Or pictorials, I should say. So this one does take about 150 bands or so. And it looks exactly the same on both sides. And I think it's a really unique and cool design. So without babbling on any longer, let's get started. To make this bracelet, you will need any kind of hook and one C-clip. I do think that a double-ended hook works great, but it is definitely possible with a regular hook as well. The first color we're going to grab is what will be white in this one, so I'll refer to that as the inner color. And I'm going to use my silicone bands today. So we're going to make a cap band. And then we're going to grab 2 more bands of the same color. And we're going to pull these through the cap band. Reattach. Like so. We're now going to be pulling through 2 of the same color on each side. So obviously I'll start on this side. This first band is going to go through the very first 2 that's on my hook. And then before I close that off, I'm going to pick up the very outside band and you're going to place that back on your hook. And then close off the one you pulled through. I'm going to do that one more time. Place it on your hook. Pull it through the first 2 bands. Pick up the very outside band and put it back on your hook. And close it off. So now we need to do the other side. So I'm going to slide it down. And we will repeat on this side. So again, we need to pull 2 bands of the same color on this side now. So I'm going to be pulling this through the first 2. And then you're going to need to pick up the outside band, which mine's a little twisted. So make sure you're getting the outside band and then close it off. We'll do that one more time. So I'm going to go through the first 2. Picking up the outside band, putting it back on, and close it off. So when that is all done, it should look something like that. So now we're going to grab one of our outer colors, which is, oh, lost focus, which are these ones here. So I'm going to do it like I did here, and do each section one whole color. So I'm going to be using my glitter white. So our purpose is to get this band through the inner 4 here. So I'm actually going to place it on. I'm going to pull it through the first 6. Like so. But before we reattach it, we're going to be picking up the outside 2 bands and placing them back on the hook. And we're going to close off the one we pulled through. So it's going to sit like this, and now we're just going to rearrange these 2 and plop them out here so that that glitter is in the center like that. So now we actually need to flip the clear glitter over the sides of the hook so that they're sitting out here. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to grab this glitter band here, the one you just pulled through, and you're going to just go like this and let go. You need to do the same thing on that side, so I'm going to slide it down. And I'm going to repeat that. So I'm going to grab that glitter, and I'm just going to plop it over my hook and let go. So it'll be sitting something like that. So now what we need to do is we need to remove these first 2 bands here. Just hold on to them. And we need to pick up the first and 4th band that's in the middle here. So here's the first one. You're going to skip the 2nd and 3rd, which are the 2 middle, and then you'll pick up the 4th one. So you should have 2 bands getting put back on your hook, and now I'm going to close that back off. So it'll be sitting something like that. So now we need to actually rearrange the outside bands. We don't want them in the order that they're in. We just want to release them. So grab the second band and just pull it over the first one, like that. And do the same thing on the other side. Grab the second band in, pull it over. Oops, sorry about that, I lost focus. So that now see how it's just sitting like loose? That's how you want it. So now you're going to grab 2 more bands of whatever color you used there for my glitter white, because we need to get this in here on the center. So I'm actually going to remove these 2. So I'm going to take those 2 off. I'm just going to let it sit there. Just be careful that you don't pull too hard. Place your 2 bands on and carefully pull it through those first 2 bands. Reattach the one you just pulled through. And now we need to pick up these outside 2 and place those back on. So it should sit like that. And now we're going to do the same thing we did with the glitter the first time. So we're going to be pulling that over the sides here. So grab these 2, pull it over like that. I'm going to slide it down. We're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to grab my 2 middle and I'm going to pull it over. Once you do that, you may need to fiddle with the middle bands just to make sure they're sitting straight. So before we start adding on our next inner bands, we actually need to remove these first 2 bands again. And you're going to want to pick up the 2 middle bands here and get them back on your hook. So it's like that. We're going to grab our inner color. We're going to be pulling this through the first 3 bands. Now before we reattach this, we need to pick up the first band closest to our hook and the 3rd band. So there's the first one, skipping the 2nd and grabbing the 3rd. Now close it off. I'm going to bring one more through, so I'm going to pull this through the first 3 again. Before I reattach that, I need to pick up the very outside band this time. Place that back on and close it off. So now we need to actually do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just going to slide it down. So you're going to pull this through the first 3. And we're going to pick up the 1st and then 3rd band. So 1st and 3rd. And now reattach the one you pulled through. Doing that one more time. Going to pull that through the first 3 bands again. But this time we're only going to pick up the very outside band and then close it off. So it's sitting like that right now. So before we continue, we need to release the outside 2 bands. So I'm just going to grab the 2nd band and pull it in front of the first one. So it's sitting loose like that. And you need to do the same thing on this side. Okay. So now we will go back to our outside color. And I'm going to switch to my gold glitter this time. So you're going to grab one of them. We're going to pull it through the first 6 bands. Before reattaching that other end, we're going to pick up the outside 2 bands and get them back on your hook. And now you can attach the band you pulled through. At this point, we need to rearrange, so just grab those 2 blues, or whatever color that is, and pull it over like that. Okay, so it's sitting like that. So now this is where we need to get the middle sitting on the outside. So I'm just going to slide it down a little, grab my inner color band, and plop it over the hook. And you need to do the same thing to that side. Okay, so it should look something like this now. And of course, the different bands you use will make, that lay differently. I think that band I just used was kind of not a good one, but you get the gist, I hope. All right, so now before we add on our next 2 bands, we need to remove these first 2 bands. We're going to pick up the first band closest to our hook and pick up the 4th. So first and 4th, back on your hook, close off the 2 that you were holding. Make sure these 2 over here stay undone, like that. Okay, so grab 2 more bands of that color that you're using on the outside there, and we're going to pull this through the middle too. So I'm going to take off the outside 2 and let it just sit there for a moment. And I'm going to pull these 2 through. Like that. And now we're going to attach the outside 2 back on. Like that. So now we just need to grab these 2 and plop them over the hook. Slide it down. And do the same on this side. This is the part where you're probably going to need to fiddle with these to make sure that they are not laying on top of each other. Just a little squishing. It's usually all it takes. This should not be crossing, so I'm going to fix that. The outside should always be untangled, okay? So that is the completion of our second section, and I'm going to show you that again. We first need to remove these first 2 bands here, and we're going to pick up the inner 2 bands and get them back on our hook. Reattach the 2 you were holding, and now we are going to add on some more of our inner color. So we always add 2 to each side. So the first one will go through the first 3 bands, and then we need to pick up the first and third band. So the first one and the third one need to go back on your hook and then close off what you pulled through. We're going to do that one more time. So we're going to pull this through the first 3 bands. But this time we're only picking up the 1 outside band and placing that back on and close it off. We're going to repeat on the other side. So I'm going to slide it down. So you pull your first one through the first 3. And then you're going to pick up the first band and the third band. Get those back on your hook. Close off what you pulled through and repeat that one more time. So I'm going to pull that through the first 3. We're going to pick up the outside band this time and then close it off. Okay, so now we need to rearrange the outside bands because we want them sitting loose. We don't want them like intertwined. So just plop the second band in front of the first one. Like that. And now we are going to pull through our first outside band for this section. So I'm going to pull this one through the first 6. We're going to pick up the outside 2 and then close off the one you pulled through. We need that sitting in the middle, so I'm going to rearrange these 2 and pull them over here. So it's sitting something like that. And now we need to get the inner bands on the outside of the hook. So we're just going to grab that inner band and pull it over your hook. Slide it down and repeat it. Grab the middle and pull it over your hook. Like that. Remove the first 2 bands. We're going to pick up the first and 4th band and get them back on our hook. Reattach what you were holding. And now we're going to pull 2 more of that same color through. So grab 2 of them. Whoops. Like I said before, you don't have to remove those 2, but I like removing them. It's just easier. Okay, pull that through the first 2. Close off the ones you took off. And now we're just going to pull them over the sides. Voila. So it is actually a very easy design, and I think it's so beautiful too. Super cute. So I'm going on to my next section. So you always have to start by opening it up and picking up the inner 2 and putting them on your hook. And then we'll add some inner colors on. So we'll pull it through the first 3. Pick up your first and third band. Get them back on your hook. Close it off. I'm going to do that again, going through the first 3. Only picking up the outside band that time, and close it. Repeat on the other side. Go through your first 3. Picking up your first and third band. And close it. And we're going to do that one more time, going through the first 3. And only picking up the outside one that time. And close it off. So we need to release these outside bands. I'm going to grab the second one. And just kind of undo it. Like that. And now I'm going to grab my gold this time. And we're going to pull this through the first 6. Because this is our next section. So first 6. Pick up the outside 2. Close off the gold. We're going to rearrange it. And now we're going to flip these 2 onto the outside of the hook. Like that. And like that. Open it up again. Pick up band 1 and 4. Grab 2 of your gold, or whatever color you're on. I keep forgetting to remove these 2. Remove those 2. Pull it through these 2 in the middle. And reattach. And then flip the 2 over the sides. And voila! I do think it is a very easy design to pick up on. So that is all the demonstration I'm going to do today, and also with the fact that I'm on a very hard time crunch right now. But I definitely hope you guys like this design. If you have any trouble, you can certainly rewind it and watch the previous instructions of it. And again, this is the super cute Esprit bracelet created by the lovely and talented Late Loomer on Instagram. Please check her out, and you can tag her and myself on Instagram if you make it, because we'd love to see your renditions of it. Hope to see many of them. So I do appreciate you guys watching, and I shall see you soon at my next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.